If you take Thomas's debt and then my savings, we've got nothing. So many people our age are able to pay a mortgage, but it's not their own mortgage. Like, they're not given their own mortgage, they're paying off a landlord's mortgage, and they don't end up with a house at the end of it. I've never been one of those aspirational content creators where I'm just like, you know. Yeah, that tree is brilliant, but it's not our one. I'll show you our tree.
I wasn't expecting.
We have our own tree up in the attic, and it's actually way better. So today Thomas and I are making a vlog about why we live in an attic at home in Thomas's parents' house.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
And yeah, if you're also in your late 20s, early 30s kind of age group, and you're still living at home and you're experiencing any kind of embarrassment or shame about it, please don't, because reports show that in this country up to half of people are in the same position as us. So yeah, we're going to go into all of that in this video, because we do get questions. Some people are confused, they think that the house we live in, that it's our house. No!
Life is a journey, and we're making this to say, yeah, you have goals, but in the meantime, you have to make sure you enjoy right now as well. So that's what we're doing. We're making the most out of the hand we've been dealt and the situation that's
because you could so easily spend your life being like, I'll be happy when I get to this point. And I have been there before. Like, I've been renting for years and years. I still pay rent now. Like, well, we contribute here, but I also rent a place with my dad that has all my furniture in it. And because I was living there before I married this man, and then I was like, I want to live with him, so we're here. But for like a decade I was renting, and I was always like, oh, I'm not going to bother cleaning and decorating or doing anything, because I was like, it's temporary. I'm only here like for a while, but a decade isn't temporary. That's a huge amount of time that I wasted, and wasn't taking any pride in my surroundings at all. At the end of the day, today is all we have. We have no guarantees of tomorrow. That's very dramatic.
Where are you going? Dorothy.
We've tried to make this space as us as we possibly could. I'll show you a few of those little things we did before we get into the chats. Both Thomas and I are massive Potterheads, so we have our collection of Harry Potter cushions out here on our little attic couch. Our Harry Potter originals do have their own bookshelf. They're next to the illustrated versions, which we're currently collecting, and I tried to colour coordinate, but I'm not very good at that kind of stuff. Up here I also have both of my books, the originals and then the paperback versions. I'm currently writing my third book, so this is kind of like a side job of mine. Speaking of writing and my job, we have two pictures on the wall that represent both of our jobs, because we both love our jobs. This is a gallery wall that we put together. I put a picture of it on Instagram like during the summer, I think. I bought all of these pictures, and now ignore it. Actually, we'll take off the tinsel just so you can see what it looks like. Even making an effort to be festive. This is the picture that represents my job, so lots of books, and then there's brands, because you know I've done brand campaigns and stuff like that to support all of my content creation over the years, and I just really love the look of that picture. And then we have a really cool old-timey airplane here. Obviously Thomas is a pilot.
Yeah.
Seville, tell them why we picked a map of Seville.
Seville was our first trip together.
Yeah.
And our second.
That's where you told me you love me.
Yeah.
So it means a lot to us. We went there a few times together, and a lot of people are like, why do you have a Seville poster? But then also, so the white roses represent my relationship with my nana. She passed away when I was only 16, but she was really important to me, which is why over here we have a white rose bush. It's fake, but still very meaningful for me, you know.
Heart-shaped coffee beans, because we love a cup of joe.
We love a cup of joe.
We love a cup of joe. Pasta, pizza, vino.
We love pasta and pizza and wine. I can't drink anymore though. I'm sober.
Non-alcoholic vino.
Love, because we're in love.
Yeah.
And kisses, because we kiss.
Yeah, we like to have a kiss.
I bought these pictures from a website called Desenio. They reached out and asked us to work with them, and I was like, yes please. And they actually let us pick some stuff for our son's future nursery, so we picked out a bunch of really cute, like, kid-friendly prints and frames from their website. We got a couple of cool like space pictures as well to put side by side as a Christmas gift.
They have pictures of literally every theme you can think of.
They have prints for everyone and they ship worldwide as well. They have a gallery tool on the website that's really handy for you to like envisage your dream picture wall. I never got to have anything like that before, and yeah, now our son's gonna have his own little one. Desenio have given us a discount to give to you, and it's discount code Melanie Murphy. It's 35% off of all prints, valid from the 29th of December to the 6th of January. So I'll link that down in the description box. It's really nice to, you know, customize your space and make the place feel very much just reflective of your personality, I suppose. And
it's a really good quality as well, so I feel like when we move and we have our forever home, we're able to bring them with us, you know?
Forever home! We printed off lots of different memories, like photos with friends and family and different trips and things we've been on. Like, I just take so many photographs. You'll know that if you follow me on my Instagram. Like, I just really love looking back. Very nostalgic person. And over here we have like first picture together as a couple and the baby's scans, and when my novel came out and our engagement, the wedding dress I would have gotten to wear if our wedding wasn't cancelled because of COVID, and then our actual wedding day in a registry office. To make it nice and cozy, we have a nice rug and a nice big Bertha bean bag for if I'm playing the Nintendo 64 next to our set of drawers where we keep nice and organized. We have like a bunch of fake plants that don't yet have names, but I want to name each individual plant. We got a nice big sturdy black velvet bed frame because the old bed was creaky. You can read between the lines there. Thomas put in these cute little pictures and a really nice bathroom mirror for me in our little bathroom, and it's one of these light up mirrors that make it a whole lot easier for you to do your makeup and your skincare. And yeah, I love this. Never been able to go tampering around with like fittings like this because I've been a renter. And yeah, like the TV I feel like makes it a lot more homey. Like we can come up here and watch a movie ourselves, so it feels like we have, or we're in our own little place, you know. Mr. Dyson heater to keep us warm when it's chilly and cool when it's roasting out. We always use our oil burner as well, and these are like the scents that we would mostly go for just to kind of make a cozy vibe. So yeah, why we live here? It's definitely not because we buy too many avocados or like, you know, takeaway coffees.
We do love our coffee.
That's what newspaper headlines kind of has a lot of people believe in about people of our generation, but it's a whole lot bigger than that.
We've all got our baggage, we've all got our things. My thing is I chose to fly for a career, which is really expensive to get trained up in.
Oh,
so
it's like a mortgage.
Yeah, it's
between the two of us, we're worth zero. So if you take Thomas's debt and then my savings, we've got nothing.
So as a result, it makes more sense for me personally to be living at home, because I need to pay back my loan before I can even think about saving for a house.
Yeah, the house that I rent that I mentioned earlier with my dad, so my dad still lives there, but it's just too small for us to both live there, and a baby and my dad. It's a really small house, and I have a deposit for a house in our town. A very average like 3-bed 4-bed house in this town is about $500,000, so that's kind of what we're dealing with. We both really want to live near family and friends, and that's just a priority that we have. And I understand that, like, I got quite a lot of heat before because I tweeted about this, like not being able to buy a house and stuff. I just felt it was quite unfair criticism because I don't think anyone should have to move hours away from their family just to have a house. I just think that's ridiculous. Gonna throw some stats at you right now, right? So go back to the 80s, a house would cost, like a couple, less than 40,000, and then fast forward 30 years, the average house price in Ireland is roughly 250,000. So the houses here, going by that, are like double the average cost of the house. So like probably possible that we could be in our own home right now, but then the issue is a lot of people buy a house far away, like somewhere where they don't want to live, and then they get stuck living there because they can never sell it, and that's happened to people in our families. So it's just too important. And I think, you know, people do have their own priorities. Like, have lived away from family before, and I'm a real home bird. I got really homesick. I don't want to own property far away from my family and from our parents. Like, we want to be able to look after our parents and for them to be involved in their grandchild's lives.
So back to the change of house prices, that's an increase of 536%.
Yeah, and inflation is not an argument for this, because 40,000 back in the 80s would be roughly around like 70,000 now in today's money, and that's according to the Central Statistics Office. House prices have increased at least 6 times over that. Salaries have definitely increased a lot, and we both are on really good salaries. Granted, you have like the COVID situation impacting your salary, but the thing is, it takes people so much longer to get to the point where they're earning good money nowadays. Like, you have to put in so many years in college. Like, I did a PLC course, then I did my degree, and I was just really lucky that about 7-ish years ago I was earning enough from online stuff to not have to go and get like a teaching job and stuff. And you worked for years doing all sorts of jobs, and then we're like, right, I want to have a career, not just a job, and I'm going to go after that. So you had to then sacrifice like time. But that's the thing, like, that's why, you know, having a family was really important to us. So we kind of had that moment where we were like, do we wait until we own a home, or do we just start trying for a baby? Because there's like a time limit on that. Like,
we really love living here. We get on really well with my parents, and they obviously love having their grandchild around. So it's really nice. Like, I'm really glad that we started having kids when we did, and we're making it work right now. When we decide to have a second child, probably not going to be enough space here.
Yeah. So we basically have like the bedroom that we do the majority of our living in, which we just showed you all those, just the little bits that kind of make it feel like a little home. But then there's like a really big hallway with like a couch and stuff, but we usually go downstairs and sit with the parents. Like, we're so close to them, and it's actually been really nice living with them during the whole pandemic and not being isolated and alone. And oh, I can't imagine like the whole pregnancy and everything being alone. It just would have been so much harder. So we are really blessed to be here. And, you know, then there's another bedroom and an office space down the other end, so we have quite a nice big chunk of space here. And I do feel though, like, I've talked to you about this before, like, I think it's because all the people I follow live in these big amazing mansions. Like, I follow people who are like 20, 25, and they all rent these gorgeous places, but they're like spending probably most of their paycheck to live there. And like, I just didn't want to do that out of pride. Like,
even just with the bit of space that we have here, if this was a flat in the town where we live, we wouldn't be able to afford it.
No, because it's just
there's no, and it's bad in Ireland, but in like the UK and other countries, it's pretty bad as well. It's just there's no regulation on rent and housing prices.
Yeah.
Really at all, because most of the government are landlords, so why would they take money out of their own pocket?
Anyway, so I have a deposit, and like, we were told recently that we should be able to get a house here in our town, but we're very cautious about buying because of now the situation with COVID and like Thomas's industry, like the aviation industry. We don't know what that's going to look like on a month-by-month or year-by-year basis, unfortunately. And also, like, my job, thankfully I didn't earn any less during the pandemic and stuff, but it's always kind of up in the air when you're self-employed. Like, you never can really plan that far ahead. I've just been very lucky that I've been consistently earning good money. But the way my job works, like, I have a company and all of my income goes into the company, and then I take a wage from the company. I do make a significant amount per year, but I don't like take all that and spend all that and use all that. I take a certain amount each month, and then I pay rent, and I pay into my savings, and then I use the rest. The rest, actually, I save a lot of that as well. I used to be worse with money. Like, I was a big spender back in the day, and that is because
now you're thrifty.
I'm thrifty now, but that, I'm sorry, I will defend myself there. Like, I spent years and years and years on the back to education allowance from the government, which is €188 a week. It's so hard living on that, because especially if you're like buying your own food and you're contributing a bit to the parent that you're living with, you've got nothing left. You've got, what you've left is enough for a weekly bus ticket. I don't know, I'd get like so excited just to be able to buy one outfit a month or something like that. Like, that's what a lot of people are in that situation, and I've experienced that, and I know how hard it is. So imagine if you are in that situation and then suddenly you have income. Like, I just went a little bit mad, and I had to learn my lesson. Like, I bought some really stupid stuff, like a really expensive coat, and just things that I don't know what I was doing. But look,
I don't know what I was doing.
Look, sure, it's not like I blew enough to buy a house like some people have accused me of. I definitely didn't. I just wasn't as thrifty or saving as much.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've saved up a lot. But the thing is, I went to try and get a mortgage, and there was multiple reasons why they didn't give it to me. One of them was that I wanted to buy on my own, and they were kind of looking at me like I'm like a single woman. I wasn't single, like we were together, but we weren't like engaged or anything.
Married, and that's all they care about.
Yeah, so in their eyes I was just a single woman looking to buy a house, and I had this like weird online job that they didn't understand. And the tweet that I got a lot of heat for about like the whole buying a home situation, like what I meant by that was you can like do what the colleges tell you to do, like the universities tell you, like, oh, go and make your own job and be an entrepreneur. And like I literally had a whole class like in my course in entrepreneurship, and they were encouraging us to go and after tech jobs and try and build out an online job. And I did all that, and I have multiple income streams. Like it's not just the YouTube stuff, you know, and I know how to keep it going even if this all dies off and just becomes a hobby. So I did all that, and then the bank were like, what do you do? I'm like, what is your job? Like what if this just ends? Like we'll give you a mortgage based on what you could do with your degree if this job just vanishes. But I was just thinking like, so if I was a builder, you'd give me a mortgage straight away, but then I could break my back and not be able to pay that mortgage back. So it just didn't make any sense to me. And I felt really good on the call with the bank recently, because they were talking to me like
different bank,
yeah, different bank, but also very different attitude post-COVID, because I think they saw now that online work is more recession proof because nearly everything's moving online, which I hate that, but that's just where I found myself. So yeah, it just makes a lot more sense to us at this point in our life, because like we haven't even discussed like, do we want to buy a starter home or do we want to wait and buy like somewhere where we happily end up?
Yeah.
We don't really know what to do.
The mortgage advisor we were speaking to basically said the days, in his personal opinion, the days of the starter home are dead. Because he was like, chances are, whatever you buy, you're going to be there for a very long time.
Yeah. The fact that houses are like quite out of reach for a lot of people, like it's infuriating. Like I saw Blind Boy was tweeting about this, about how so many people our age are able to pay a mortgage, but it's not their own mortgage. Like they're not given their own mortgage, they're paying off a landlord's mortgage, and they don't end up with a house at the end of it. And it's just, that's so annoying.
A little funny note about Blind Boy as well, when I was doing all the renovations up here to make the place actually livable, I like listened to the first like I don't know how many
of his
podcast. I listened on my Spotify Wrapped, he was like #1. So cheers Blind Boy, you're responsible for all this.
Not watching this. But going back to what we were mentioning earlier in the intro, like it's so important to be grateful for what you do have. Like we're watching a documentary right now about the Irish famine, and they lived in these tiny little huts made out of bloody grass and muck and just loads of crap, and like the whole family were in them freezing, you know, like that was only a few generations ago. We're so lucky, and I really just wanted to destigmatize living at home at our age. And you know, even if you are successful, if you're doing quite well, you can still be in this situation. But I know a lot of people just they're put off by the sheer weight of like, how will I ever get a deposit like that? How will I ever be able to buy a house that costs that much? I'm not even going to try. And then they just, yeah, they free up a lot of their income because they're not saving it for a house. Then maybe they are just buying a lot of avocado toast and coffees, because the whole thing just seems out of reach. It makes you
feel better.
Yeah.
That's why.
It seems so out of reach, and you know, we're just kind of chipping away at it. You know, we're not putting like massive pressure on ourselves, but yeah, like I do feel pressure sometimes to like have my own home and be able to, I think because I post online and stuff like that. But do you know what? That's just such a stupid mindset and such a stupid side effect of social media. It's like the comparison game, and it's like, I don't want to, I've never been one of those aspirational content creators where I'm just like, you know when you see them and they're like these like really thin, bronzed, blonde goddesses, and they're holding their partner's hand, leading them into these magical mountains, and you know, everything is all like, ah, like I've never been that person. So I don't know why I get so like, not panicky. I don't get panicky about it. I just get, you've seen me like the odd time, every few weeks I'll go, I feel really bad about myself that I don't have a house yet, and I'm this age, and I've been doing so well in my job for so long, and I think it's more of a societal judgment. Like, it's more of a, like, you know, if I'm at some kind of author party and, you know, we're all talking about our books that were in the charts, and I'm like, yes, my first book was featured on the Irish Leaving Certificate exams, and then they're like, oh, so where do you live? And I'm like, my husband's parents' attic.
You have to laugh or you'll cry.
No, it's like, I love it, and I feel like we'll look back on this and we'll miss it. Because the first place we lived together was in Spain. It was this little dorm room where he was studying. It was this tiny little room.
Quarter the size of this room we're in now.
Yeah.
Like,
we've moved up in the world.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do get shit from some people. Like, I get the odd message or the odd comment or whatever, and I usually ignore them or delete them or block them, because I'm just like, some people, they'll try and take something about your life and purposefully use it to, like, or weaponize it against you and try and, like, drag you down. But I do feel like if that would be coming from a place of insecurity in them, because, like, I can't imagine ever trying to upset someone about something in their life, or trying to, like, use that to put them in their place or anything like that. It's just such a nasty thing to do. But yeah, I do get asked about it as well by really nice people, just kind of curious about our situation. So yeah, there's lots of reasons we wanted to make this video. I feel like we kind of had to make this video.
What makes me feel better is just the fact that everyone in this country our age has been dealt the same hand.
Yeah.
Okay, and you just have to roll with the punches
and do your best. Like,
yeah,
just
like
hustle.
We're just doing our best financially, putting away as much as we can and trying not to think about it, and then one day hopefully we'll reach that magic number and it'll happen.
Yeah. Speaking of hustling, thank you so much to Senio for sponsoring. We bought stuff with our own money from them, because, like, ages ago, because I just really liked them. So if you want to support me, do support them or any of my sponsors, and that link is down below. Treat yourself to a nice little gallery wall wherever you're living, because, you know, obviously we're not staying here forever, but we can bring these pictures with us to our forever home. And yeah, if there's something we mentioned or didn't elaborate on, or that you want to ask us, comment down below, and we'll try and reply to a lot of the comments under this video. But I just want to thank you all for being with me, because, like, I couldn't be happier about the fact that I get to work from home, and it is really stressful working in around a baby. Usually you see, like, every video I've put up since the baby's born, he ends up in the video like I'm breastfeeding or something. Now he's kind of big enough that for, like, just while we've been filming this, he's with his nana downstairs. Another benefit of living here and stuff. But, you know, if I'm organizing brand deals or planning videos or editing videos can take a long time, or writing or doing anything like that in between his naps and feeds and shits and all of the other stuff that comes along with having a baby. Yeah, I don't want to end up not living close by to family and stuff like that. It's so important to me, and it's just unfortunate that houses here are so expensive, but we would rather live here with lovely people and wait than go off and live somewhere else or whatever. So goodbye, good friends, goodbye. But now it's time to go.